I have always loved superheroes. The Justice League, Avengers, Sailor Moon, Birds of Prey, even Power Rangers. I grew up watching these teams fight evil and support each other through everyday problems. I even wrote my college entrance essay on the importance of teamwork in Sailor Moon. They've always been my escape from the real world and helped me to determine what kind of person to be. I learned from a young age that everyone has the ability to change the world. And that's probably why I was so drawn to service as a high schooler in student council. I took pride in being the community service girl, and when I was applying to Sewanee, it was that pride in doing good that immediately drew me to the Bonner Leaders program. Just as much as I knew I wanted to go to Sewanee, I knew I wanted to be part of a program that focused on changing people's lives. It was meant to replace the fulfillment I had gotten through student government in high school, but it became far, far larger than that. Bonner has become not only the largest part of my identity at Sewanee, but the guiding light for my future as well. I've come to realize that my most meaningful relationships have been built around home-cooked meals in small churches and cups of coffee in food banks. Through Bonner and my work with my sites, I've met real superheroes and made my own team in the incredible community that I have the opportunity to serve. For 4 years, I've worked at the Community Action Committee, also known as CAC. It's a small food bank and resource center that is the outreach ministry of Odie Parish, located now on University Avenue. I've also worked at a high school and elementary school, directed a mobile soup kitchen, and done media work, but my constant has always been CAC. I started there my freshman year when we were still located in a shabby old yellow house that, by the time we were ready to move to our new location, had no running water, no heat, and spotty electricity. But it was there that I met Betty Carpenter, the director of CAC, and one of the strongest women I know. She showed me what it meant to be a real hero to real people. She didn't wear a cape, but by my sophomore year, she did wear a deacon's collar. Betty and CAC introduced me to an entirely new Sewanee, one that you can't always see from University Avenue. The Sewanee we saw was one that had been plagued by generational poverty, poor resources, and isolation. People came in to get food or help on their electric bills that lived only 1 or 2 streets away from me. I learned the names of older community members who came in just to talk or grab a few things to feed the grandchildren they were raising. They became like family to me. They brought me homemade salsa they had made from the tomatoes we'd given them, and pickled okra from their gardens. I built friendships that breached all the barriers put up by race, class, and age. Some of my best friends and strongest heroes have come from CAC. Through CAC, I met Trudy Cunningham, a bouncy, energetic woman who is always looking for the next way to help people. I met Laura Willis and found in her a kindred spirit and mind who I could come to searching for advice about work or my future. I spent a couple hours each week with Monday Connie and Friday Connie, Wednesdays with Robin, and I began to live for Friday coffees with Joe and sometimes Miss Hazel. I served meals and was served kindness in return from people like Jasper and Cynthia. The Bonners that worked with me, like Allison and Louie, became some of my best friends. All of these people became my own sort of Justice League, each of them bringing a different skill or ability that lent themselves to seeking justice and kindness for others. With this team of incredible people, I've served hundreds of plates of food, packed countless brown bags of groceries, sipped on dozens of cups of coffee, and grown in professional and personal ways that are immeasurable. These heroes made me realize just how important community is, and how much we often take it for granted. My junior and senior years saw me fighting one of my biggest villains, depression, silently, afraid to let people see me as weak or vulnerable. I didn't feel like getting out of bed, and rarely did people come to knock on my door to see if I was okay. I would sometimes miss class because they thought of being around other people was terrifying. But I never missed work. I knew that Joe and Connie would be wondering where I was, and I had to remind myself that no matter how I was feeling, people needed to be fed. People needed to feel love from someone. In return, I too was shown unwavering love. CAC has always been there for me when it felt like school was impossible and the world was collapsing. They've kept my world together, and for them I want to be a better person. Being a hero or a leader is not about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers or swooping in to save the world from crisis. Sometimes being a hero is about smiling when you give someone groceries or offering a hot cup of coffee on a cold morning. Being a hero is about seeing the worth in everyone you encounter and learning to help and be helped. I'm grateful to have learned from my everyday superheroes, and I think that I will carry what they've taught me for the rest of my life.